Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining Candid Meena every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. And thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in the channel, do share it with your friends and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thanks for your kind support. Today, Jaydev joins me in this session. Welcome, Jaydev.
Good evening to all the viewers once again.
Yeah. Viewers, it's a very proud moment that our Prime Minister is addressing the United Nations General Assembly. So let me just tell you a little bit about what happened there, and then we can move on to the rest of the news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi fiercely targeted Pakistan and China without naming them. And without naming Pakistan, the Prime Minister said that countries which are using terrorism as a political tool, they have to understand that terrorism is an equally big threat to them. Not only this, the Prime Minister, while referring to sea security and expansionism, said that while the sea is a common heritage of all and it needs to be saved. He addressed the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York on Saturday, September 25th. He began his speech by paying tribute to those who lost their lives due to COVID-19 pandemic. As he began his address at the UNGA, he spoke about the progress India has made in terms of clean water, technology, providing homes for at least 3 crores of people, etc. But one thing that Prime Minister stressed was the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and its vaccination. Jadit, can you also show the picture?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Prime Minister Modi at the UN. Prime Minister called it one of the worst pandemics in 100 years. He went on to speak of how India has tackled the pandemic with the help of vaccine production and technology. He spoke about the COVID app and the doses administered currently in India. India vaccine delivery platform CoWIN is offering digital support to administer crores of doses in a day. India is heavily involved in vaccine development and manufacturing, he said. Among other things, he also said it's important to ensure that the soil of Afghanistan is not used for spreading terrorism or there is no terrorist incident there. We also have to be careful that the delicate situation there should not be used by any country as a tool for its selfishness. Now, in an interesting article in Op India that I'll read out to you, is very interesting. See, in front of PM Modi, Biden certifies that American liberal media is worthless lapdogs. This is what happens to lapdogs because people with real power know how to put lapdogs in their place. What's the lapdog going to do anyway? Apparently, some reporter at the Washington Post protested weekly, managing to tweet, "Not good folks." How does one treat lapdogs? As it turns out, not with a whole lot of respect. The American elite went all out for Joe Biden. They were out there cleansing his mess even before he could make them. In February 2020 itself, they got together and ruled that any discussion of the lab leak theory had to be suppressed because the media, the so-called experts, and of course, the big tech censors all agreed the pandemic had to be Trump's fault. Over the next several months, their fellow Americans died by the hundreds of thousands. Millions of people lost their livelihoods. Across the world, there was untold misery. The human and economic cost was on a scale not seen since the 1940s. But the American elite held on to the party line. Do not blame China. In New York, the liberal governor, a key ally of Biden, sent 15,000 elderly Americans to COVID deaths in nursing homes. The American elite had their mouths tightly shut. When they spoke, it was to praise the liberalism of Governor Andrew Cuomo and to label them as Cuomo-sexuals. Then a month before the election, a laptop emerged with emails leading to the allegation that Biden's son, Hunter, has been selling access to his dad for years. Possible clients could include shady regimes and dodgy businesses around the world, from Libya to Ukraine. But the media maintained a stony silence over the scandal. It was Russian disinformation they ruled. When the New York Post dared to report on the story, big tech locked their social media accounts. What did the American media get in return for such loyalty? Yesterday, President Biden humiliated the American media in front of PM Modi. Before we dissect this further, let us relish what just happened. For over 2 years now, the American liberal media have made it their mission to abuse PM Modi. They have called him authoritarian, fascist, human rights abuser, compared him to Nazis, and the like. And here is their supreme leader himself, President Joseph R. Biden Jr., the biggest liberal in the world, humiliating the American media in front of PM Modi. That was pretty sweet, I must say. By the way, what happens now to the many Gungadin experts in India who work for American media establishments? Will the American media keep throwing crumbs at them? Let us take a moment to relish the anxiety of the paid trolls among Indian liberal classes who are fearing for their livelihoods right now. Does this mean no more consultancy fees from think tanks or foreign fellowships to produce rants on freedom, democracy, and feminism? These Gangodins got so high on their own supply that they thought Biden would stick it to Modi. Instead, Biden made it a point to put the media in their place in front of PM. So that's interesting. Yeah, we'll move on to news about Chabria's son, Jaydev. So could we show the
Yeah,
image
see,
before we
before that, I would like to add my comments on Modi's visit to the US, and
Yeah.
now I want to, question Washington Post as to what their criteria is for hiring a journalist. Is it to write still an abusive article on Prime Minister Modi? You know,
Yeah,
now will be the question to Washington Post.
right time.
Yeah, right
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So meanwhile, yeah,
You can show a picture of Dilip
yes,
Chabria's son, who's been arrested by the Mumbai police.
absolutely.
It seems like a sort of revenge because, you remember, Republic had also called Dilip Chabria on their panel. So now they're trying to take their revenge, it looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is Chabria. You were sent a bill of
Chabria's, yeah,
1.8. Yeah,
yeah. Chabria sent a bill of 1.8 crores to Kapil Sharma as parking charges for his vanity van. So, yes, let's go on to the news, Jerry.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, coming to car designer Dilip Chabria, his son Bonito Chabria was arrested by the Mumbai crime. This thing, and so Mumbai police arrest his son Bonito in a cheating case registered on the basis of the complaint of comedian Kapil Sharma. He was produced in the court and sent to judicial custody. Now, Kapil Sharma had alleged that he was cheated of rupees 5.3 crores by Dilip and Bonito, among others. So, Sharma in his complaint had informed that police between March and May 2017, he had paid Chabria, who owns Dilip Chabria Designs Private Limited, rupees 5.3 crores to design a vanity bus for him. When there was no progress made till 2019, Sharma approached the National Company Law Tribunal. The tribunal, after initial hearings, directed that DCPL's bank accounts must be frozen. Now, last year, when Chapria sent a bill of rupees 1.2 crores to Sharma as parking charges for the spot where the yet to be completed vanity van was about to be kept, the comedian had approached the police. In September 2020, Sharma approached the Economic Offences Wing and lodged a complaint against Chabria. The EOW was conducting a preliminary inquiry when the crime branch arrested Chabria in another case pertaining to fraud last year. The PE was then converted into an FIR. Yeah, so
Yeah. Moving on to the next part of the news. Friends, it's about Shehnaz Gill. So first, I'd like to just show them a poster and then move on to the news, Jerry.
yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Friends, now, while PR sources, as you remember, and starlets have been shouting hoarse about Shehnaz Gill mourning and crying her heart out and how she's with the family crying her heart out. Remember, her trailer is just out making much noise on social media through her PR again. So we all know the cat is out of the bag. It's like, the news where, Rashmi goes disco dancing 2 days after Siddharth Shukla's death. This is how Bollywood and Indian television, industry operate. For them, everything is just a farce. And this is another big example. You mean to say in a day she recovered and she made this movie? So that's one for you. Another article is about Sherlyn Chopra. Jenny, if you could just show her image as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sherlyn Chopra hits out at Shilpa Shetty, giving Shashtang pranams to artists on TV, says, please show some sympathy to the women who are suffering. After expressing her displeasure on the release of Raj Kundra in the infamous pornography case, actress Sherlyn Chopra has now taken a dig at his actress wife Shilpa Shetty, taking to her Twitter handle. Sherlyn urged Shilpa to go out in the real world and show some sympathy towards those women who are suffering in the real world. She penned a tweet in Hindi that loosely translates to, you do Shashtang pranams on TV to those artists whose art you are influenced by. Please show some sympathy to the women who are suffering by stepping out of the real life and going into the real world. Believe me, the whole world will bow down to you. Notably, Sherlyn had worked with Raj Kundra in the past and shot content for his company, Arms Prime. Meanwhile, ever since Raj Kundra's name has cropped up in the case and got arrested for producing and streaming adult content through an OTT app, Sherlyn has constantly been criticizing him and his wife Shilpa because she's been interacting very closely, with Raj Kundra. And you remember, friends, that she had also said that, that Shilpa Shetty used to compliment her through her husband about the scenes that she had enacted in these steamy movies. So everybody knows that Shilpa Shetty, while she was telling everybody that she was not connected to her husband's, work, Shilpa was actually egging on Sherlyn to give more such scenes. Okay, back to you, Jaydev.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to you.
Yeah, it's quite amazing that all the after Raj Kundra got bail, all this keeps happening. But it's quite unfortunate that Raj Kundra is let out on bail, and there's no serious punishment being meted out to him. So yeah, so coming to
that's Maharashtra for you.
Yeah. So
Meanwhile, moving on to Paramveer, can we see his image as well?
Yeah. So coming to Paramveer Singh, so DGP proposes suspension.
Well? Yeah. Yes. Now we are talking about the man who has gone into hiding and reportedly found by Republic in Chandigarh, and who perhaps will go back into hiding again in some other state. Yes, back to you, Jen.
Yeah, the DGP proposes suspension of Paramveer. Home Department seeks more details. The proposal seeks the suspension of over 25 police officers, including Singh, a DG rank officer, and at least 4 DCP rank officers, along with several ACP rank officers named as accused in the various cases. Maharashtra DGP Sanjay Pandey has proposed to the State Home Department that IPS officer Paramveer Singh and all other policemen named in 5 FIRs registered against former Mumbai police commissioner on charges of extortion be suspended. The proposal seeks the suspension of over 25 police officers, including Singh, a DG rank officer, and at least 4 DCP rank officers, along with several ACP rank officers named as accused in the various cases. A senior state government official said that the file was sent back to the state police headquarters on Thursday, seeking more clarity on the proposal and the exact roles of the officers and constabulary in the offenses. We can't paint everyone with the same brush and need exact roles of officers and men involved. Some will have a major role and some may have a minor role in the matter. We have asked the DGP to give exact roles of each one, the official said. Once they give a reply, the government will take a call. Since there are some DG and SP rank officers who are class 1 officers involved, the file will go to the Chief Minister. We are awaiting a reply from DG. The Home Department is wary of suspending so many police officials and of the damage it can be due to the image as well as the morale of the police force. So coming to Paramveer saying, like Republic said that they have traced this location to Chandigarh. Now after that, what happened? Like there's no news after that. Like
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
Moving on to Sachin Vaze, Jaydeep. So we can move on to news about Sachin Vaze, if you could.
yeah. Yeah, so Mumbai Special Court seeks reply from NIA on Sachin Vase's plea for house custody. Sachin Vase, who is behind bars in the Antilia bomb scare and Hiran Mansukh death case, has filed a plea to be placed in house custody for post-operative care. Sachin Vase, who is dismissed Sachin Vase, who is behind bars in the Antilia bomb scare and Hiran Mansukh death case, has filed a plea to be placed in house custody for post-operative care. Now, he recently underwent open heart surgery at a private hospital on September 13th. The investigating agency, which is the NIA, too had allowed Vase to be treated with coronary artery bypass graft surgery for his heart ailment. Now, after surgery, Vase was shifted out of the intensive care unit on September 17th, and his sutures are likely to be removed on September 27th, after which he will be discharged. Now, however, Vase's latest plea in the special NIA court states that since he has undergone complex cardiac surgery with 5 grafts, he should not be sent back to Taloja jail, where he could be subjected to many more infections. It's a medically known fact that post-surgery, there's a high likelihood of contracting an infection in a non-sterile environment. Further, the applicant at a post-surgery is clinically into stress. So multiple infections can spread due to unhygienic conditions and the proximity of the population. Even TB is the TB rate, that is tuberculosis rate, and skin infection rate is significantly higher in jails. Thus, a high possibility of contracting a post-surgery infection in jail cannot be denied, states the plea, while adding that Vase suffers from various comorbidities. Now, citing the Elgar Parishad accused Varavara Rao's case, where the court had observed that continuous custody of the under trial at the Taloja Central Prison is wholly incompatible with his health condition because the hospital at the Taloja Central Prison is not adequately equipped to take care of the under trial, given his advanced age and various health conditions. Vase's plea states that Taloja prison, where he too was lodged, is not the place for post-operative care. 82-year-old Rao was granted interim medical bail by the High Court. With this, his plea prays for house custody to enable him to recover in a safe, sterile, and stress-free environment, albeit in custody for a period of 3 months. It's also prayed that during this time, Vase should be allowed to visit his hospital in Mumbai, and that he be allowed to meet a lawyer as per the jail manual. Now, the special NIA court has asked the agency to file a reply on this issue by September 27, when the plea will be heard. Yeah, that's with regards to Vase. It's coming full circle that last year it was just last year that he barged in Arnab Goswami's residence, and he pushed him and kicked him and brought Arnab to Taloja jail, and now he doesn't want. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to Gehna Vishesh. Can we have the image?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, talking about this very famous lady, viewers, who is trying her best to whitewash Raj Kundra. This is Gehna Vashisht. Okay. She says now that Raj Kundra must be tense. He was looking depressed. Yaina Vashish will return to work very soon, which means act in, according to her, erotic movies. The actress who recorded her statement after getting a bail from the Supreme Court said, I've been away from home for a really long time, so I'll rest for a few days and start work from Monday. She landed in trouble after she took up duties as producer and director, so she has decided never to play that role again. No more direction or production, as that role has gotten me into trouble. And I'm tired of clarifying to people that I paid too heavy a price. I'll only be an actor and will take up a role in a serial or web series, which is the current trend, and some South films too, she revealed. The actress also relayed that the cops were impressed that she appeared at the investigation office immediately after her bail. I've been wanting to appear before the crime branch and share whatever information I had and answer all their questions. But I was fearing arrest, so as soon as I got my bail, I appeared before them. She points out. Gaina has been defending Raj Kundra all along and claiming that the business plan was producing bold content, not porn. When asked if she had reached out to Raj after his release on bail, she said, I was in jail for 5 months and I don't have anybody's number. I'm able to speak to only those who have called me. Besides, I don't think Raj must have switched on his phone as he has just come out of jail and must be tense. He was looking depressed. He must give time to his family, but once things get a little normal for him, I shall speak to him. Now she sounds more like his, what do you call, his doctor, who's counseling him rather than, an actress. So that's that's kind of strange. Yes. So back to you, Jerry.
Yeah. So now I think it's funny like how Gena is now again defending Raj Kundra after all this, after all the nefarious things what he did. So now coming to Ankita Lokande, exclusive, like Adbindya Bave reacts to Ankita Lokande being trolled. So in a media interview, Abhidnya Bave, she's an actress. She spoke, she's a television actress, like a Marathi actress. And she on the media, sort of interviewed her on what she thought of Ankita Lokande being trolled on social media. So this is what she replied. I think if you want to know somebody, you have to get into his shoes, his or her shoes. And I never went in the shoes of trollers because I don't know which kind of mentality they have, frankly. I don't understand how it satisfies your ego by just talking about somebody without knowing how that person is, without knowing the background of that person. Is I think trolling happens only when the trollers want attention and trollers just crave attention and they go very low in the matter of attention. If we are talking about them now, they are getting more importance now. Also, there's no point in discussing them. They just sit and comment on anybody's life as it is behind the phone. The person who lives that life and goes through a lot of obstacles and stands up courageously back, that person knows what it takes. If you love someone and you are somebody's fan, then you should know that person will never like such kind of things and he or she will never want anyone would troll by his name. I think this is very basic, which people should know, or else they don't want to understand it. They just use something like a shield to fire on people for no reason without any knowledge about it. These kinds of people belong to a very low mentality, and there's no point in running after them genuinely. So it's quite funny, like, when they want people's attention, like they want only positive
Yeah, they
attention.
fall all over you.
Yeah, they'll ask you to subscribe to all those OTT platforms, pay the subscription and take your money and
Or
stuff.
use
But when,
or use
yeah,
SSR's name.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's an FIR against the Kapil Sharma show for showing actors drinking in the courtroom scene. The case has been registered against the show's anchor Kapil Sharma and Sony TV director MP Singh under the IT Act and Excise Act, according to advocate Suresh Dhakkar. An FIR has been filed against the makers of the Kapil Sharma show over an episode on which the show's cast was shown to be drinking alcohol while performing a courtroom scene. The complainant has accused the comedy show's producers of disrespecting the court. The case was filed in the Shivpuri district and sessions court in Madhya Pradesh by a lawyer named Suresh Dakar, who claimed that the episode with the objectionable scenes was aired on Sony TV on April 21st. The case has been registered against the show's anchor Kapil Sharma and Sony TV director MP Singh. The matter is set to be heard on October 1st. In the courtroom scene, the co-star comes on stage with a bottle of liquor and urges other people to taste it. The lawyer told reporters the scene outrages the dignity of the court. It should have also featured a statutory warning, which it did not. Dakar claimed that in the past too, the comedy show has featured offensive content, such as lewd comments about women. He claimed he had earlier approached the collector and superintendent of police to register a case against the show's makers, but to no avail. Here, I'm not surprised, Jaydev, because see, it's not only Kapil Sharma's show. You're also talking about Big Boss. You're also talking about all the other reality shows where they use bad language and they, look down upon women and they treat women as sex objects. And liquor and drugs and all that is just, as simple as cigarettes for them. I mean, I think it's a pattern that they use to sort of, make youngsters feel that it's okay to use this kind of language or to use these kind of habits. So it's a demoralizing program, and if Kapil Sharma doesn't know it, I mean, he must be so stupid, because I'm sure he's getting his people are telling him what to do. He's just a pawn in the whole midst of it. Yeah, back to you, Jerry.
Yeah. With regards to actor Gaurav Dixit, he was granted bail in a drugs case on rupees 50,000 surety. So, Bollywood and TV actor Gaurav Dixit was arrested on August 27th after the NCB recovered MD and charas from his residence. On Friday, the Mumbai court granted bail to the actor in drugs case on a surety of rupees 50,000. According to the ANI, Gaurav cannot leave the city without the court's permission. ANI tweeted that Mumbai court grants bail to TV actor Gaurav Dixit, and they released him on a surety of 50,000. And in the conditions, they have mentioned that he can't leave the city without the court's permission, and he has to report to the NCB office on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday till filing of the charge sheet. Now, Samir Wankate told media that Gaurav had supplied the drugs to Ajaz Khan, who is currently in jail in the same case. He had also revealed that Ajaz Khan and Gaurav Dixit, they have a direct connection with Shadab Batata. Now, reacting to Gaurav's arrest, Wankade told media, in the Shadab Batata case, we have already arrested 4 people, including Ajaz Khan, and therefore Gaurav became very crucial as far as the network is concerned. We have also recovered drugs from his house. Now, Gaurav is known for acting in films, TV serials, and commercials. He has worked in films like Happy Baag Jayegi and Happy Fir Baag Jayegi, among others. So that's, I don't understand. Like, if you're caught in a drugs case and you're just let out on a 50,000 rupees surety, we saw that happening with Raj Kundra as well, right?
Yeah, and also something that I find
Yeah,
very amusing is that, see,
yeah.
why do these underworld dons and these drug peddlers and all have such funny names like Batata Puri and Chote Rajan and of such funny names, Pappu, Pappu Rajan and all that. So it's so strange. Are they
Chota
covering
Rajan.
up their names?
Yeah.
Yeah, covering up their names, or I mean, are they food connoisseurs that they love some batata vada that they keep batata as the name? It's really amusing. I mean, all these underworld people having such strange names, and whenever they say that police have caught them, half the time we feel like laughing and then saying, "Oh God, these are all drug peddlers or underworld people," which is
But but
serious matter.
again, but again, if it's funny, it's very unfortunate that only the high and mighty is let out loose. They're not given any punishment. While
Yeah.
if a common man commits the same crime, he's punished very swiftly.
Yeah.
So we do hope that judicial reforms comes very fast.
Some good comments coming from Rafael. Patata boy, I thought sold potatoes only.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Shilpa is saying that he used to be a potato seller. So that's funny. Yeah. Okay, moving on to Malika Sherawat. She says she's never worked with Bollywood A-listers as they wanted her to compromise. Male actors started taking liberties, is what she says. She shared that she missed out on many opportunities in the film industry because the big stars wanted her to compromise. She says she never worked with Bollywood A-listers as they wanted her to compromise, and male actors started taking liberties. She shared that she missed out on many opportunities, and she made it. She said Bollywood actress Malika. She's actually a more of a, what do you say, item lady, because she comes only in item songs. In the early, she was there big, made it big in the early 2000, and was known for taking up non-traditional roles in Hindi films. In other words, she was more of a, a cabaret dancer. In a recent interview, she revealed that despite being successful in that era, I don't know how she became successful. She was only given those tiny weeny roles. She never worked with a big Bollywood actor because they expected her to compromise. The only reason I've lost out on roles is because I refused to give in to them, who wanted certain things from me, who wanted me to compromise. I come from Haryana. I have a lot of self-respect and a lot of pride. I said I will not compromise. I don't need to be in your big movies. That's why till date I never acted with any A-lister, a male hero. And besides that, I've survived, and that itself is a testimony. She made headlines with her 2003 film Khwahish and with 2004 film Murder. She stated in the interview that she had never faced the casting couch directly. I haven't faced it directly. My rise to stardom, I was very lucky. It was very easy. I came to Mumbai, I got Khwahish and Murder. I didn't have to struggle much. But after the movies, because Murder was such a bold movie and that kind of bold image was established, a lot of male actors started taking a lot of liberties with me, and they said, if you can be so bold on screen, so you can be bold with us in person also. She added that the big stars never worked with her because they could not differentiate between the on-screen and the off-screen persona. They did not differentiate between the on-screen and off-screen persona. So that is where I faced a lot of difficult situations, because I'm a very strong woman and I could tell the male actor, I'm sorry, I'm not going to compromise. I haven't come to Bollywood to compromise. I've come here to make a career. That's why they never work with me, she shared. Now, if she's speaking the truth, well, that's good of her, because if she tried her best not to compromise, that means she's got some principles. But how many of these women would do it in Bollywood? Most of them are after money, and they would do anything just to, get a role in a big movie.
Yeah,
So,
money and fame.
yes, money and fame. So that's all the news, friends. So if you'd like to join us, please do. We'll open the lines, and I'll also start posting some of the important comments which we find impressing. Yeah, just 1 second. Yes, you can join us on this line. And yes, so let me just also post some comments. Rekha says all drugs, porn, fake business, uneducated people are in Bollywood. Yes. I wonder, Vishali says, I wonder if Malika stood for her principles. Even I doubt, because the kind of roles that she's been doing, we've been seeing. And so it seems a lot of hogwash. And Raphael didn't realize that poor Jia Khan was in a film, Nishabt with ABC Bhai Sahab. Yes, that was her first movie. And that was the first time, in fact, I noticed her. And I found the theme rather crude. But then in many Bollywood movies, you'll find that the script is very crude. Malika was in the butt camp. Wonder how she got there. Exactly, Sanita. So, Poonam, I don't believe a word of what she said, but you never know. Yes, exactly. So that's where I also stand in her case. Hate to see their advertisements, Rekha. Yes. So Gehna and Kundra will be back in the same business. Maybe they'll call it, some other name, Shilpa, now. Like, instead of erotica, something like, see, some philosophic name to it, saying that, see, it's more spiritual. And maybe add some yoga to it as well. Thanks to Shilpa. Runa says, I'm good, but awfully busy with loads of my plateau. Oh, yes, we miss you, Rina. Hence, not able to catch up session, but yes, I'm spreading information given. Thank you so much, Runa. We really do miss you. Yes. Poonam, I don't believe a word of what she said. Absolutely. Rekha, hate to see the advertisements. Shilpa, so Gehenna and Kundra will be back. Yes. She tried her luck in Hollywood too, just now. Yes. Monica, it's their way of diverting from the reality of Bollywood. They want us to believe something untrue of them and the reality they live in. Delusions, delusions, delusions. Absolutely. Here, I'd like to tell you something interesting, friends. See, this is the 100th year after the Mopla massacre happened in Kerala. This happened in a small place called Nilambur, where they attacked the royalty and all the people in the royal kingdom of Nilambur. Now, this what happened was it was like a sort of a genocide of Hindus. They did not even spare children, or in fact, a mother was killed when the small baby was just next to it crying, and they didn't care. So, there are a lot of tweets on this in social media to say that the Mopla massacre is no different from what ISIS has been doing or any of the terrorist incidents that have been happening. Only thing is the names have been changing over the years, and always the people who have been suffering have been the Hindus. They invite them into the country, and this is what happens. So, at earlier times, people were, people used to be more kind. But now, the new generation of Hindus have become more assertive, and they will not tolerate any more of the kind of nonsense that we are facing. And examples of this, I would like to say, is in the modern times, is the killing of Sant Narendra, okay, and also many other things that are happening in relation to this dismantling of Hindutva, globally through their stupid seminars arranged by people who don't have any value with regards to India or our Prime Minister. We're talking about Kavita Krishnan, Meena Kandasamy. Okay, so seminars such as this, which pull down a religion that is so peaceful. Okay, then we talk about other things also that are happening. For example, what we all fought for a few days back about an Indian woman walking into a restaurant wearing a sari. Now, here I would also like to mention to friends that three other ladies went into the restaurant and had some food there or whatever. I found that very demeaning because the intention was not to go and eat there. The intention was to just go and make your presence there. Don't give them money. Don't make that restaurant prosper. If they have a philosophy that is against Indians, that restaurant should not, it should close down. So I found that sort of, incident rather demeaning for most women because it's right, you go there and you pose, that's fine. But do not partake, and make them feel that, it's a commercially viable. So that was one point which I didn't, Jaydeep, also I felt very strongly against. So these are all, so we need to be more vocal whenever injustice is, meted out to any section of people. Even 100 years we were taught to school that Hindu-Muslim bye-bye, and only Britishers created the divide. It's not happened, it's like that. See, here also, I would like to mention, see, in many cases, when I was when I had gone to Udaipur, there's a very famous Krishna temple there, very famous. And at that time, when the Mughal invasion started, what the priests did was, it's a baby Krishna, okay? So what they did was they took the baby Krishna and they ran with it, in order to protect baby Krishna. And they took it to another place and where they hid it till everything was over. And now you find in Udaipur that temple, it's so beautiful. I mean, when you go there, you will find that the baby Krishna, undergoes complete routine through the day. In the morning, it dresses up, and has its breakfast. And then after that, at noon, it takes its nap, and then in the evening, it's all ready in finery to meet the people. And at night, it goes to sleep. So a complete routine of the baby Krishna happens in that temple. And look at the what you call the sincerity and devotion of the people who protected this baby Krishna from attacks. And if any of you want, go to Udaipur, this is one temple that you should visit because it will give you goosebumps because that you feel that baby Krishna is alive in that temple. So that's one thing. What happened. When Mughals attacked, the number of temples they razed and the number of people who were killed. And also here, one very important thing, friends, it's because of people like you who have united, to protest and say boycott Bollywood. In what happened was, in Kerala, a very famous actor called Prithviraj Sukumar, he was going to act in a film based on the Mopla massacre, trying to make it as though make us all understand that it was all fine and the Moplas did the right thing. So he was going to act as a hero, as a Mopla. And because of the kind of protest that he faced, and the director and the producer faced from social media, they, stopped, they just shelved the project. So this is the same thing that's happening to you, friends, because y'all are doing this. It is
See,
all
sorry, I would like to add one more thing. Is
yeah.
I'm talking about Kerala films.
Yes.
Each and every Kerala film I see on Amazon Prime, they really make fun of Hindu cultures and traditions. Each
Yes.
and every film, each and every new
Yeah.
film. I don't know what is their agenda? Who's producing? Who's funding them? Is it coming from
See,
Pakistan? Is the funding coming from Pakistan for Malayalam
yeah, it
films?
is actually, it is in a
Yeah,
sense, it's coming. Yeah, because see,
yeah,
there was an incident where a lot of a shipload of fake currency had reached Cochin Airport. So it is being funded, and the black money is being converted into white money through these processes. And if you're talking about the people who are producing these films, yes, it is the cabal who is producing these films.
absolutely.
But what I'm saying is that, see, people are so powerful. The public is so powerful. If you do not want something to happen because of your boycott Bollywood and movement, ads have been advertisers have stopped using actors and actresses, to a large extent. And also the fact that, see, theaters are going empty. Many theaters have closed down. So it's all the credit goes to you, people, because, see, y'all are taking the
Absolutely.
initiative. Y'all are the ones who are, other than your work, you're dedicating your time to this movement. And thanks to the biggest person, we have to thank is Sushant Singh Rajput.
Yeah, the greatest
Because
person.
if Sushant Singh Rajput had not opened our eyes, perhaps we would have still thought that Salman Khan is a good actor, or Shah Rukh Khan is good. But today
Or
we
Akshay
know
Kumar.
exactly, yes, Akshay Kumar. Today, you wouldn't believe it, Jaydeep. See, on Twitter, there's a scene where Salman Khan is mocking journalists, and he's losing
Yes.
his temper, and he's telling the people who organize the event, get rid of this dude. Who is he? I don't understand. I mean, the media is trying to write a story for you, and you talk
I,
to them as though they are your servants.
yeah, I mean, like he's, like nearing 60 years old, and he still
Yeah,
has this power. And
yeah,
I'm sure that, he's like, funded heavily from international forces. And because he's been in the industry for a very long time, he has escaped a lot of cases like the black buck case,
yes,
driving on footpath.
yes,
Like he sort of had a fight with Aishwarya Rai, then
yeah,
with Vivek Oberoi. Still, he
yes,
goes scot free. He's being made the host of Big Boss.
yeah,
He's given a lot of funding. He's given films, and not even
yes,
one actor has the guts to criticize Salman Khan even now. Even now.
yeah. So here, Jaydev, I would like to
Yeah,
take a point.
that's the kind of
Yeah, I
power
would
he
like to
has
take a
over
point.
Bollywood. And
Yeah, yeah,
whoever he doesn't like, they somehow get eliminated.
yeah. Yeah, I'd like to make a point.
Yeah,
Mansi Bhatia says, I'm
yeah,
not saying the restaurant is right. What I'm saying is that since we do not know the complete story, so no one party can be given benefit of doubt. Now, here, Mansi, I would like to tell you, as a journalist, I have presented complete sides of both sides of the story, and also told you who the owner of the restaurant is. Now, the owner of the restaurant himself had, in a tweet, abused our
Prime
Prime
Minister.
Minister, Narendra Modi. Okay. And then when he got this barrage of attacks from social media, he immediately closed his Twitter account. Second thing is, the lady's daughter very clearly said what had happened at the event. She said her mother was insulted, and what the restaurant said was that she slapped. No, what she said that her mother, when this man acted aggressive, she just pushed it. She didn't slap him. So let's not get things wrong. Okay. And then the father said, why don't you mention this in your this thing that, see, ladies in saris are not allowed. For that also they got very aggressive. Now, what the restaurant said was, she slapped, and that's the reason. And because of that, the hostess said that, see, women in saris are not allowed. Is that the right response? So, which means The restaurant was wriggling. Already it was caught with its pants down, and now it was wriggling, to somehow hold on. Now, all sides of the story have been presented, not only here, but on my Twitter account. If you want to, you can go back and check each and every side of the story. We do not present stories without facts. Okay, so if you have doubts about it, Mansi, I would just wish that you go to my Twitter handle. It's Meena Das Narayan, and check all the tweets on the restaurant. Everything has been proved there. If you have any further doubts, please come back to me. Okay, we'll just take some other comments as well. See, they're targeting border states, so they can enter India easily. Yes, this is KB has just joined me, so I'll just add KB as well. Yeah.
Welcome, KB.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello, KB. You're
Hello.
not to be seen.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm having some net issues. I think the rain is just not leaving my city.
Okay. I'll just
Yes.
I'll just wait for Jaydev also.
So-
Can you join us, Jaydev? Yeah.
Yeah, hi. Welcome, KB, to the show.
Yeah. Good evening and Har Har Mahadev.
Har Har
Jai
Mahadev.
Shiv
Har
Shambho.
Mahadev. Yes.
Yeah, so I was just listening to the comments by some of these people, and there is one thing I would firstly like to talk about this Akila. That the people who are going to Akila, my suggestion to them is go there dressed in your saris. I think they have changed the rules now. They're allowing the ladies to go in even with the saris. Yeah, thanks to the virtual storm on net, and thanks to you, Meena ma'am, because we focused on this
All of
issue.
us.
Yeah, so it's heartening to see at least they've changed their stance there and they're allowing the people in sari. But my suggestion is that maybe it was a ploy to increase their business. So, folks, don't give them any business.
Exactly.
You go there, you pose there. If they allow you to enter, go and sit on the table, ask for something which is not on the menu, harass them, then come out.
Yeah.
If I were there, I would have done that because they don't
what
deserve
happens-
business.
Yeah, KB, what happens is people don't listen to all the news. They just hear one news and then they see the restaurant, showing a very tiny clip of her pushing someone and they say she's slapping him. So it's also distorted. I wish people would take the time to look at both sides of the story and then
Absolutely.
come. See,
Absolutely.
when a serious journalist from Doordarshan speaks this way, don't think that lady is stupid. She's an intelligent woman who's telling you that some injustice is being done and we need to stand with her. So
Absolutely.
please, friends, even the viewers, I would ask you to exercise your intelligence. Ask the right questions. If you have doubts, go back to social media, check what's happening. And if you still feel that we are wrong, then you have a right to tell us that, see, we are not giving you the right side of the story. So this is something, KB, I feel it's very important.
Yeah. In fact, the people who are questioning that the video of the 10-minute or 10-second slapping, they should ask themselves, if I go to a restaurant, would I just slap somebody just like that?
Exactly.
That means that person has created the cause enough for me to get so annoyed that I'm slapping them. If at all it is there.
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
I mean,
Vishali says, yes, Meenaji, you did investigating journalism about the incident. We heard the whole incident here. Thank you so much, Vishali, for your words. Sometimes when you hear something, your blood boils, and then you go back to that incident around 10 times. What is it? What's happening? And then come back, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, if you respond, we do it in social media. But when we are coming in a news program, we try to tell you both sides of the story. And it's up to you to believe. We will never force you to believe any side. It's up to you. But do not tell us that we are presenting the wrong side of the story, or we are presenting only one side of the story.
Yeah, they should put themselves in the shoe and think. Yeah, this is one thing. And moreover, what the father of that lady said is very true, that if that was your dress code, you should have told that beforehand. There are certain marriages where they put the dress code, where when you are invited to a club or something, they mention it on the left bottom side that dress code is casual or whatever. So they should have mentioned that. So these people would have gone prepared in that fashion.
Yes.
So
And
this is
also
as far
today,
as that.
KB,
Yes.
another thing that I enjoyed today, Jaydev and KB, this lady who came in the UN and who spoke, she did a brilliant job. Now, see, what I found very amusing and worth applauding was that one of the journalists from Aaj Tak, the anchor, Anjana Kashyap, she just barged into her office and she said that, see, we all admired what you did. Now, can you tell us what happened actually? You wouldn't believe it. The lady, what she did was she didn't say anything. She got up and she said, in sign language that she's already spoken at the UN, and she took her hand and she asked her to leave the room.
Oh my God, is that so?
If only, people could treat journalists like Anjana Kashyap that way, it would be so nice. Because this is the lady who's been abusing Modi whenever she gets a chance. Aaj Tak is also belongs to India Today. And they have never spared any this thing for Modi ji. And once I remember when Modi ji did an interview, he was so polite with her, but she's never reciprocated that way. Today, the lady who spoke in the UN, gave her in her own coin. So that's something that is trending in social media right now. You should see it in Twitter.
I must go and see that. Yeah, I watched Modi ji's address on the UNGA, and I was so impressed. I mean, without naming names, he's called out to the terrorist countries. So that was a very proud moment. I saw from 6:30 it was there, and that was very impressive. But it was very brief. But I must go and see this lady, what happened.
Oh,
and
yes,
I think
brilliant. Because see, this girl, this anchor, is a very snobbish woman who doesn't know how to speak. And even when she does interviews, she's very arrogant, So people have been sort of, peeved in the manner in which she speaks or she conducts programs.
Oh my goodness. They should be given a dose of their own medicine sometimes.
Yeah. Maya says FIR against Kapil Sharma for showing unit members drinking in the set. The show should be banned for its inane stuff. Absolutely, Maya. See, he's someone I don't like at all. He's sort of a creep.
He's more into buffoonery.
Yes. And Mickey says restaurant owners like this have to be hit in the pocket to show it will not be tolerated. See, here, again, coming back to that point of the restaurant, KB and Jaydev, see, the three ladies who went to the restaurant and took photographs and had food there or whatever, I mean, that was a sort of demeaning for our movement, because all you should have done was just go and make your presence felt. Why did you spend your money there? It's not worth giving them even one naya paisa because of what they did.
In fact, it's like serving their purpose.
Yeah, they have humiliated Indian womanhood by doing that. So you won't believe it, KB and Jaydev. See, Twitter was full of images of women in sari, all looking so pretty and so professional and so nice. And you can understand the kind of anger that was there in women who felt so angry with what was happening. And this restaurant doesn't need our PR. It doesn't need our PR. They don't need our money. Okay, demean them. Let their license be revoked. That is the intention. Nothing else. We do not want to go in a sari and eat at a restaurant like that. So that's not the mission.
Yes. But it's good in a way. With a vengeance, we ladies have put on our saris and shown them how good it looks.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, look at the silver lining. Yeah. And the other thing you were talking about today was about that people who give their names as Batata Puri and all those things. I was just wondering, recently during this, when NCB was doing the searches, they caught hold of one panwala, you remember?
Yes.
There was one guy who was across the street from somebody's house and who was actually doing drugs, but he was the exterior business was panwala. I think that batata wala also must have been something, because in Bombay they have batata puri sellers. Just like we have pani puris and all, they have batata puris. So I have a feeling he must have been selling batata puri, and this must be a side business of his, doing the drugs thing. And finally he must have wound up his batata puri and gone straight into the drug business. That's why he's got that kind of a name. I mean, that it's quite possible, It's quite possible.
I hope he didn't put any drugs in the puris he made.
Oh, possible. Jaidev, this is very much possible. I don't know whether you are aware. In the schools, they have this churanwalas,
Mhm.
and who sell in the outside the schools to the children. Many of them put this so that the school student will come back to them only and eat, because they hook the children that way. I mean, at least in my city, it has been found out outside the schools and colleges. They start at young, the teenagers, 12, 13-year-olds, they start them off.
And
So I don't
were
know.
they punished?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Were they
Which one?
punished? Were they punished?
No. In this case, what happens is the authorities always, the palms get greased and they look the other way.
Yeah.
Starting from the Darwan who's at the school gate, who's supposed to stop, he is the first one who gets his palms greased.
Yeah.
So it's like a
Another
nexus.
point that Maya Jagannathan is making is Sai Deepak, a young lawyer, has spoken eloquently in Mopla massacre. Kashmiri Pandits. He debates logically and gave befitting reply to Barkha's remark that Muslims are in minority and so in danger. Here, I would like to make it a point that they are not in minority anymore. It's just that the numbers have been fudged. So that's one point. Second thing is also Sai Deepak has, literally, made Shashi Tharoor cry in one of the shows where he bashed him left and right. You remember? I don't know whether you saw it, KB.
It's in YouTube.
And in YouTube. And I was literally saying that Sunanda Pushkar, though she's not alive, she's taken her revenge through Sai Deepak. Sai Deepak very logically spoke about brilliantly. And this is a show that everybody should watch just to see how this man gives, the famous shampoo man, left and right.
Bashing him up. Oh, I must go and see that. That would be wonderful.
Yeah. And Luna says, Sari makes a woman look like a Devi. Any man besides husband should look at a woman like a Devi, Durga Mata. The restaurant owner's downfall has begun. We should wear more of saris. Brilliant, Runa.
Absolutely.
Rekha says, comedy show of Farah is also double meaning. Why these Bollywood people should be idolized? They are just entertainers. Vada pav wala, pani puri wala, butta wala, bhel puri wala, these are my favorites. Nice. Yeah.
But we have to
They
be
are
careful.
breeding. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Is it still wow, Ratharur in tears? Absolutely. Shilpa, you should watch that video. At least you guys have hawkers. All puri walas are banned in Australia. Yeah, very.
But Raphael, you are lucky that way. At least there won't be any drugs laced
Yes.
pani puri.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think we
So
can.
that is there. Now
close
there's
this
one more,
maybe.
ma'am. One point I would just like to talk about. When you spoke about Mallika Sherawat saying that she has never compromised, and I mean the kind of movies, the murder, and all those movies that she did. I just wanted to make a comment that the casting couch has been in Bollywood since ages. We all know about that.
Yeah.
So whom is she trying to fool by telling that she has never compromised? I don't know.
Yeah.
Does she
See, I
think we don't have basic
I think
IQ?
Yeah, I think KB, she's just trying to cash in on the issue where see, everything is coming into the fact that public want decent women in movies. So she's now trying to again go back into the Bahu role, saying that, see, I'm so pure that you can take me back in movies. So all the while she's been worse than all these other characters, like, Katrina Kaif and, Jacqueline Fernandez and all that. She's been worse than them. So she now, I suppose, wants a whitewashing happening. And that she needs to go to Rajdeep Sardesai or perhaps Anjana Kashyap for that.
So she's trying to be a Sati Savitri now.
Yes.
So, but we are boycotting Bollywood absolutely. Whether it is Kangana, whether it is Mallika, or whether it is whoever. No Bollywood, no more. We've had enough of them.
Another thing I want to ask you, KB, did you ever visit that Krishna temple in Udaipur? The one that I spoke about?
No, I haven't been there personally, but I have been to Dwarka and the others, yes.
Yeah. You must if you get the chance, because, your emotions become, you become so emotional when you see the baby. It's just like it's in a cradle, and, you can actually visualize Krishna, Lord Krishna in that. And, they also make very good sweets, because he was very fond of sweets. And, during evening time, it's snack time for Lord Krishna.
Okay.
So they make all
Okay.
those snacks and they serve him. And he's dressed in finery, all silks, and the baby gets up to have food.
Oh, I
So it's
must go
so
and see
emotional.
that.
Yeah, the whole
I
thing.
must
I
go
mean,
and
it
see.
makes you cry. I mean, such a beautiful
Yes.
temple. I mean, once in a lifetime you
I
get to
must
see
go
it.
and see that.
Yeah.
I must go
And
and
also
see
here,
that.
I would like
Ma'am,
to
have you
make
been to
another
Vrindavan? Have you been to
Vrindavan. No,
Vrindavan?
no, no.
Vrindavan gave me that feeling. When I went to Vrindavan
Yeah,
in the evening, that aarti time, if you go there, it's such
yeah.
a divine feeling. I mean, if your viewers can also once in a lifetime, it is worth a visit.
Yeah.
Evening
Also
aarti is
here,
beautiful.
yeah. Also here, I'd like to make a point. See, in Trivandrum, there is a Lord Padmanabha temple. So every time we used to visit it earlier, it would be the main idol of Padmanabha Swami, sleeping on a multi-headed cobra snake,
Yes.
was in black. Then,
Yes.
about so many years back, about six, maybe even 10 years back, when we went, the princess of Kaudia, of the earlier Maharaja family, took us there and for a private visit. And at that time, she showed us, the temple, and you'll be amazed. They had removed all the black from it, and it was pure gold inside, and you could
Really?
see it. My God, it was like our eyes couldn't take the beauty of it. And the strangest thing is, see, Lord Padmanabha is lying on the snake in the ocean. Now, if you put a thread, into that water, it just goes on and on and on. There is no end to it. You
Oh,
can't imagine. I mean, so many things happening there. And also, you remember when Sonia Gandhi was in power, they had this, and even recently, they had put this thing against Padmanabha Temple, saying that, see, the king's people, the Maharaja's people were exploiting the situation and perhaps using the gold or whatever was being given by the people, which was totally wrong, because the Maharaja at that time was a simple person, and I know the princess very well, and the princess also lives a very simple, frugal life. Okay,
okay.
now you know what happened when the amicus curiae was sent to investigate the temple, and to make
Mhm.
sure that everything was open, all they had volts of gold. So when they
Yes.
asked them to open each one, each time someone opened it, that person suffered from a heart attack, some died. Okay, and this main
Yes.
person, the person who was a lawyer, the amicus curiae, he was supposed to get a promotion, as a Supreme Court judge,
Oh.
and he did not get it.
Okay.
He did
But,
not get
ma'am,
it.
I heard about that there were 8 vaults, and
Yes,
when they opened up to 7 vaults, they opened, and every time they opened, the person who opened either had a
yes,
tragic death or had a
yes,
accident. But the
yes,
8th one was
yeah,
not opened. I think they said
yeah.
there
You
was
know
a huge
why?
snake. There was a snake
Yeah,
guarding
and
it.
not
That's
only
what
that,
this was.
huge snake. Not only that. See, if the eighth vault is open, they said that, see, the whole of Trivandrum would be flooded. The sea would flood it.
Catastrophe. Yes,
Yes,
yes, yes.
yes.
But
So
did
that
it
was what
finally
happened.
open? It didn't open
No, it didn't.
finally. Okay.
But still, see, the government of Kerala, which is under these communists, they are in control of all the temple money. So it's a very
Yes.
sad situation in Kerala.
Yes, this is something the government should look into, because if the masjids and the churches can keep their funds to themselves, why can't the
Yes,
temples keep their funds to themselves? Why is
yes,
there
yes.
inequality there? Different rules for different religions? That's not fair.
Yeah. Okay,
So we
Jaidev,
need
a
to.
message for you. Can you read our messages? Seeing a smile on your face, I feel you can.
Yeah, I'm
Thank you, Leila.
reading each and every message.
Who's that, Leila? Yeah,
Yes,
Leila, why don't you join in? We'd like to hear from you live. Come in, come on, join
yes,
us.
yeah. Rajeshri is joining us from California. Welcome, Rajeshri. And Raphael always comes out with very witty, humor. Yes, I heard Govinda had a film called Friday, never got released. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, but Rafael, we
So,
really appreciate you joining in. It must be past
yeah,
midnight there in Australia. So for you to
yes,
join in with the
absolutely.
live
Yeah,
is really wonderful.
yeah, yeah. Runa, yes, I will give you the name of the temple. No, it's not ISKCON. I'll give you the name of the temple. It's a very
That's Dwara, I
important,
think,
not
is it?
only, yeah, it's a very important temple, because even any tourists who come there also go there. So I'll give it to you in my next session. That's
Meenaji,
on
is it
Monday. So
Nathdwara? Is it Nathdwara?
I'm not sure. I will check and KB, because
think
I'd
it's
rather give
Nathdwara,
it
yeah.
the right name to
Okay,
Runa, because I know
right.
when people
Sure.
like Runa ask me, they are very serious
Yes.
and they want to go there. You know.
Yes. Yeah,
So
until
we'll
we
do that.
can go there personally, we can even have a look on YouTube and enjoy the
Yes,
virtual
absolutely. Yeah,
tour.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
exactly.
if you can
And
tell
also,
us
Is
friends,
it
that.
I'd like to tell you.
Srinathji temple?
Yeah.
No, Srinathji.
Srinathji,
Someone
that's
asked.
Nathdwara.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
That's
okay.
yeah, I think
Nathdwara.
it's that. So anyway, we'll give her a confirmed
Yeah.
reply on Monday. And friends,
Yes.
I'd like to
Yes.
also tell you that Monday, Rabia ji is joining us because she'll
Oh,
have some
lovely.
further news on what's happening. So we look forward to all of you joining us. And always, again, see, I'd like to express my huge thanks to all of you, because of the kind of comments that I get from all of you and the kind of
Yes.
support. I mean, it's just tremendous. And none of you actually see. I've seen that KB, in if you get 100 comments, it's only one or two which we need to remove. But otherwise, everybody who
Yes.
joins us, they have such good intellect, and the kind of things they comment or add. It makes this program so rich.
Ma'am, shall I tell you why? One of the
Yeah,
reasons is because it's a reflection of your the quality and standards that you have maintained in your
okay.
channel.
So
That
sweet.
is the
Thank you. Yeah.
reason.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so sweet. KB, we've tried to,
that's a
because we work
fact.
on it and we try to do it. And it's again, see, support of people like you, KB, Monica, and all the people, because here I see so many people. Every time, the comments move so fast, I can't even keep up with it. And Vishal, Vishali, and all of you. I mean, just
Yeah, but all
everybody. I don't know how to
the
thank you.
messages are very
Ruchi and
qualitative. Whether it is
Sunita, yeah,
Karthik, whether it
all of
is
you.
Misty, whether
Yeah,
it
and
is
see, it makes
Vishali.
you sort of, yeah, sometimes it makes you emotional, because I think that I never knew this family, and all of you are so beautiful, and the way you communicate, it makes me rather emotional. Runa says
Yes,
yes, we will join. Thanks, Meena, and wonderful Sanjay Dev. See you on Monday. KB is absolutely right. Thank you,
right.
Runa.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah,
Good night
yeah.
to all of
On this
you. Good
note,
night to all the
Yeah.
yes,
viewers.
yeah, yeah. And
And
thank you, KB,
right.
for joining us
Okay.
always.
Thank
Always
you
a
so
pleasure to have
much.
you. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
night. Good night,
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye
viewers.
bye. Good
Yeah.
night. Good night to everyone. Bye.